guys, I'm here with Eric Nelson. This is my good friend from LA. He moved here from Chicago. He is an NCDA player that moved over to the USA dodgeball formats. And I wanted to have him here today just because he made the team recently and he's been a huge part of my training recently and just my life in LA. And I wanted to get him on the videos just to show the transition more or less from NCDA dodgeball to cloth and how he feels about making a team.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So this is your first introduction. This year was your first intro into USA dodgeball, right? And on top of that, you made the practice team. Oh,
yeah.
How's it?
Yeah, it feels amazing. It feels really good, especially because the first time I basically picked up a cloth ball was actually Phoenix of last year. So the first round of USA last year. So it's been a little bit over a year since I even picked up a cloth ball for the first time. But it feels really good. I thought the transition honestly would be harder from pinch to cloth, and I thought it would take a lot more time, but I knew I had some game sense and the knowledge to do it and some of the lesser skills needed. But just to see my name on that list, it's super exciting. Mostly just to compete against the best of the best. That's what I'm most excited for. I thought I would have a good chance of making the practice squad at least the first round, being I think the list this year is 29.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit less competition for cloth than there is for foam to make that initial list. So I had a good feeling, but Xander will test. I was still pretty nervous about seeing my name on the list. Those doubts always creep in, so you never really know. But just knowing I get to go to that initial practice later this year to really showcase is super exciting. I feel like I get to play high level here in LA, but obviously that stage is a little different. The pressure's on, so I'm just super excited, ready to put in that work.
Well, the pressure's on in general to make this team because it's not like they fell. I wouldn't even say they fell short last year. They overachieved, right? They went from whatever place they got to in Edmonton, which was, I don't think it was very good, to be honest, to gold medal match, overtime.
Yeah. It's as close as you can get without winning.
Yeah, literally as close as you can get. So that team is gold or nothing, I feel like, this year. And with a lot of veterans moving out of the space, there's making room for new players like you.
Yeah.
New players like Cody, new players like younger generations.
Yeah, I think there's a good mix of vets and younger players. Like you said, myself, Cody, Pierce is super young.
True.
So there's a lot of young momentum, I would say. Even if one of us or all of us or none of us make the final roster, I think that youth will show in the practices and stuff like that and make the vets as best as they can be, hopefully get them to play a little faster, a little harder. But I think it's putting the pressure on them. The next generation's kind of coming up. And so they need to fight for their spot as much as anyone is really the mindset that I think the whole team should have.
And so you moved from NCDA to pinch, you played with Gamecocks.
Yeah, NCDA to the newly formed NDA, which is kind of post-college, that opportunity, yeah.
How do you think that transition has been from pinch, big court?
Yeah, big court.
Dirty block, all the bullshit.
Yeah, big court, a lot of people. NCDA is 12 on a court each side, so 12 on 12. NDA is a little smaller, 8 on 8. Still just feels like the same size court. I don't know if it's changed or not. It was an adjustment for sure. The big thing I think is the strain on the arm is so much less in cloth. It's crazy because there's broken arms in pinch from stress. You're pinching full momentum into crow hops, but I think the biggest shift wasn't like big court to small court or anything like that. It was like overall play calling and stuff. Pinch is, I know you're throwing, throw at me, throw hard or not, I either catch you or I don't. It's me throw hard at you, whatever. The play calls are, someone in the middle goes, Eric, throw in the corner, and everyone on the entire court hears it. There's no secret to who's throwing at any given time. not a lot of transition play.
So you kind of got to go big dick that guy.
Yeah, it's who has the bigger dick on the court, or it's less about athleticism. It's I'm gonna squat down, I'm gonna sit on my knees in this corner. I know you're throwing at me. I'm either gonna catch it or you're gonna miss. That's it. So the biggest shift has been play calls, communication, overall team play. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people in pinch still struggle with is playing as a team. You'll see if you watch any footage, it's as soon as someone picks up a ball, they run up to the line, crow hop, and throw as hard as they can. Because ball control really doesn't matter because it's a rotating shot clock per team. So it's just you have to throw every 12 seconds regardless.
Yeah.
And so there's no end of game strategy. Yeah. There's no playing the clock. There's no.
Well, the score can be 1-0 then, right?
Yeah, the score can be 1-0. The score can technically be 0-0 if it's a 20-minute match.
Yeah.
Like no one. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that transition. It's harder because obviously here in LA I play foam and cloth and no sting and stuff like that. Cloth, similar ball type, similar catching style. I think it was the easiest. I'm still working on my foam game. Dodging, that's something you don't do in pinch. You don't dodge. Like you just I don't know. Like you just
yes. In dodgeball we don't dodge.
Yeah, in pinch you just don't dodge. You just square up and you either catch it or you don't. There's no sidestepping. There's no. Most of the time, people don't even go for the block. They just drop their ball and hope they catch it.
That is
the biggest. Yeah, that's the biggest difference for sure. It's crazy.
Let's see. Has the ball size? So, if an NDA player was watching this right now, or an NCDA player was watching this right now, when you made the transition to cloth, was the ball size a big difference? Was throw speed a big difference? Was there anything other than just the format? Different?
Yeah, the biggest difference would be speed and movement of the ball. So with that pinch, you're able to get a lot of different spin on it, whether it's side spin or top spin, so that ball really can die at the end. Or in cloth, that really can't happen. It's either, if you're someone, like Nikolai or someone that just is able to throw straight down, then that's as close as you're going to get.
Top-down movement?
Yeah, the top-down movement. Yeah, that's the biggest difference is the speed that people can throw pinch balls with. I think it's the higher caliber players are mid 70s, upper 70s. It's pretty crazy. Or you can get some crazy spin. A lot of the times in pinch, I'll throw almost like submarine, and I can start, if I'm on the right corner, I can start the ball at their left corner and spin it to the other side of the court. Obviously, it's not going to be that quick.
So it's like foam movement, just with a big rubber ball.
Exactly, it's foam movement with a big rubber ball. So that's the biggest difference I think an NDA or NCDA player would have to get used to. Is you're not able to control your ball as much as you might think. Yeah, you're gonna initially throw, it's gonna come out super flat, super straight, chest high. Because in pinch you can start at chest high and it will end at their feet. So that's a huge difference.
It's you have to worry about spacing and blocking and actually playing with someone standing right.
Yeah, spacing's not a thing in pinch either.
That guy's all the way over there. And I'm over here in front of my guy.
Spacing's not a thing in pinch either. You'll see a lot of times three dudes will stand in front of their most important player with balls and they're going for that block, they're protecting their players because, the best player in pinch. It used to be. It's not anymore.
Oh, okay, thank God.
You want to protect your best two players on the court at all time. So you put, literally meat shields in front of them so that they don't get hit. Because there's just such a skill gap, I think, in pinch right now. Because it's such an isolated ball type,
Yeah.
So I think a big difference too is. The NDA is as high or as professional as you can get, if you want to call it that. There's no international stage. It's pretty isolated to the Midwest and the East Coast. So I would say if you're looking to elevate your game, go to a USA round and play different competition.
Yeah, there's a lot up there in the Midwest.
Yeah, but in pinch you play the same 5 teams every tournament.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
That's it.
So when you made the transition from NDA to or whatever, college dodgeball to USA dodgeball, were there any players that you look up to play style wise, and then also how they acted on court?
Yeah, so there's one player I've always looked up to in pinch, and then I think it was hard the first couple of years when I transitioned. I was pretty much solely playing WeHo. Didn't really know anyone, was just showing up, playing, leaving immediately. It wasn't until a year and a half ago when I started doing the more USA focused stuff that I found players to look up to. So in terms of just like play style in pinch, I learned everything from Michael Riley at Central Michigan. He played for Notorious, plays for Omerta right now.
He's a really cool guy.
He just plays with a passion that I haven't seen many people match, honestly. Whatever you want to say about him or not, he
Plays hard.
He plays hard, and in the pinch space, he is at the top of his game. I don't know how that game transitions anywhere else.
They literally never played open.
Yeah.
They just showed up for the last day of pinch and just rolled up and threw rock.
Yeah, exactly. But as soon as I started playing like more cloth and more foam in LA, the first person I really gravitated towards was Glenn here. He kind of, I would say, took me under his wing. I think he saw the potential. He saw I was showing up. He was organizing with Nate some more secluded like cloth practices, and he introduced me to that super early on, so I'm super grateful for that. So definitely Glenn in the cloth world. And now I feel like multiple times a week I'm playing with Justin Pine, who is the person I think to look up to, especially in the LA area for cloth.
Now he's the GOAT. Since Nate retired, now he's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. So I'm playing with him, whether it's no sting, whether it's cloth, whether it's foam, 2 to 3 times a week. I'm on his USA team with Hex. I'm gonna get to keep on playing with him during these practices and the duration of the practice squad and stuff like that. And then as of late, obviously, we play a lot together. They're teaching me more and more about foam, how foam can also translate to cloth movement-wise.
Yep.
I think cloth needs to implement some more quicker movements like foam does. So I think like teaching-wise, you, Glenn, and Pine for sure.
Because I think foam translates to all balls. Like a really good foam player, go play cloth, as long as he can hold the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Agree.
Like,
I think foam can play any ball type, where cloth can play cloth, unless you are actively trying to.
Or we legalize finger blocking.
Yeah, or hey,
then it's even.
Yeah, I'm really good at finger blocking.
So we're actually gonna hit some sprints, and a lot of this is gonna be like our training session that I think we're gonna start doing this once a week.
Yeah, we're already training other things multiple times a week, whether that's weight training or whatever, or going to like a practice tonight, but definitely get a little park workout in.
But I suck at rushing, so that's what the goal is here. I'm not actually misconception, right? Second fastest at the combine, by the way, on the rush. No, this is a fact, by the way.
I'll believe it when I see it.
So it was like rush to pass in the hand. I was the second fastest. Elijah was first. This is like a fact. Obviously, Aaron Goodwin's on the team.
Yeah. You're so now.
I'm gonna be like 10th because that motherfucker takes like 1st through 9th. It's actually disgusting. That guy's insane. But the goal is to just. I feel like every player should aspire to do this. Is be able to fill every position on the court. Like back in the day, I think I only played wing, and I only had a ball in my hand just because, like. Usually the best player on your team has a ball.
Yeah,
that's just how dodgeball works. But transitioning to a team where I don't have to have the ball in my hand to make plays, or like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted
by his own
camera. What the fuck, dude? I think it's important to play every position on the court, and that's what we're doing today. I'm learning how to get better in the drive phase on the rush, and I mean you're doing the same thing with the rush in the center and cloth.
Yeah.
And I think you're pretty long-legged, so you can do kind of what the British guys do. And I don't know if you guys have watched this, but they take like really like long, ugly strides. It looks disgusting, by the way.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, but it works. He like just taps the ball at the very it's 3 steps.
Yeah.
25 feet, 3 steps, which is insane, by the way. He's also huge. But we're gonna work on that today, and we're gonna get some sprints in.
Yeah, sprints and then cloth practice after this.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to it.
Let's do it.